All right, hello, we are back live from Versus Games Locals. I'm still your host, James, but I am joined by my lovely co-host, Sam.
Hey, everybody.
We have another match lined up. We're going to be seeing another Rakdos Scam player, this time piloted by Aaron. And he's going to be up against 5-Color Creativity, piloted by Steven. Turn 1, we're going to see a Xander's Lounge from the Creativity player, followed by Meyer from Aaron. Let's see if we get any play from Scam.
If all goes well, yes.
Yep.
we will see one.
Yeah. Just last round, we saw the incredible power of the Turn 1 Scam package, both in the form of Grief and Fury.
Looks like a Ragavan? Yeah, Ragavan. Your comment when we saw Creativity was bold.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this deck?
Yeah, so Creativity has, it's still a strong deck, but it has noticeably fallen off in the post-Lord of the Rings metagame. This is mainly due to Orcish Bowmaster, which we will see from the Scam player.
Right.
So this Orcish Bowmaster is 1 and a black for a 1/1.
Oh, we know. Everybody knows what that one does.
Yeah, enters battlefield,
Ping
but
stuff,
importantly pings the dwarf from Dwarven Mine.
So a Leyline Binding on Ragavan.
Yep.
Turn 2.
Yeah, the good thing for the Creativity player is that they are still benefiting from this incredibly good mana package. Modern has been very much boosted by the inclusion of the Triomes.
Yeah.
Which enables this domain reduction for Leyline Binding. It is one of the best removal spells in the format.
Leyline is 5 and a white?
Yep, 5 and a white.
Jeez.
Flash, enchantment, enters the battlefield.
Exile target non-land permanent. Yep.
Was it? I think this was taken. It looks like the Leyline Binding didn't hit the field. Possibly.
Looks like they walked a little back. I'm not sure.
Possibly due to being unable to cast it with Xander's Lounge.
That had to have been it. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Xander's Lounge is the Grixis one, as far as I know, and then Indotha Triumph is the Naya one, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be Jetmir Garden.
That's
which
right.
Is the Naya one.
That's the Naya. I was right.
Indotha's the Abzan, I think.
Indotha is the Abzan one. Yeah,
Yes.
but you're right. That is the Naya land.
Looks like Ragavan hit a bolt.
Gotcha.
And we're not seeing any further play from Aaron. Yeah, I think Bowmaster has really been keeping Creativity out of the format.
Just because it hits the Dwarven Mine tokens?
Yes.
Okay.
Although, the deck has received a bit of a kick from Preordain's unban.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I think that as far as like cheating big things into play deck, I would imagine that filling that slot for the most part has been Rhinos.
Yep.
Because that deck, I believe, has more sort of staying power, a lot more versatility in the answers, and definitely implies more like tempo strategies involved. So I think that's going to be definitely has been pushing the Creativity decks out of the format. Here comes that Leyline Binding that we saw before. Big surprise.
Yep,
also on Ragavan.
Gonna hit the Ragavan here. Very interesting also to see the Orcish Bowmaster deployed at the end of last turn instead of held for the Dwarf token. It looks like Aaron is looking to prioritize a clock and not give the Creativity player time to combo off. Could also be indicative of a hand of removal spells.
Luckily, our players have the life total there, at the bottom there.
Yes. Actually, both of them have had that, which is very nice.
That's exciting. Makes it a lot easier on our team.
All right, so Steven is going to fetch up a Stomping Ground at the end of turn. Another mountain. This means 3 mountains are in play. This Dwarven Mine is both going to enter the battlefield untapped and generate a 1/1 dwarf token. This is now...
Second Bowmaster. There it is. That was what you were saying.
Yep.
As soon as we gain priority, we're going to get that. Now, notably, the Creativity requires the spell to resolve with the creature token in play, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not a sacrifice in addition to casting the spell. It is when it resolves, sacrifice a creature.
Yeah. The spell, so it's you pay X and you have X targets for the spell.
Mm-hmm.
So if any of those targets, or if all of those targets get removed, then
For each, you may polymorph, basically.
yep.
And then, like you said, the payoff for this is going to be
I think Archon of Cruelty.
absolutely
I think it's an 8-drop. I think 6 and 2
it
black.
does everything.
Yeah, it's like it's really
gonna-
nice.
Yeah, the
Oh, I should say another thing that has made life for this deck difficult is the One Ring. So the One Ring, when it enters the battlefield, gives you protection from everything, right?
Mhm.
So when Archon enters the battlefield, its ability targets.
absolutely, yeah. So we do know that the ooh, Teferi here. What do we hit with Teferi? Probably just bounce the token. Yeah.
Yep.
Most notably, I think that for a little while there, Archon of Cruelty has been the
Oh,
primary.
the token's going to come back. So this
Because he will
Teferi
draw a
draws a card. One of the pings is
Interesting,
going to
ping
hit
it. Ouch.
Teferi, removing it. This is a pretty huge swing for Aaron here.
Yeah, he's going to not only kill Teferi, but also ping Steven.
And get the token back.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Actually, ran into that a few minutes ago. Actually, we had yeah, gonna skip that one.
Yep,
Up. That one was
yeah.
brutal. Unfortunate. I actually ran into that as I played a little bit of Blue Moon in round 1. Not exactly an incredible deck choice, but having a lot of fun with it. Had a Snapcaster in play. My opponent had a one of the Bowmasters in play. I was like, all right, we just cast Flame of Anor, target Bowmaster, draw 2. We just take a bunch of damage. Yeah, took 2 as well because
the damage state-based.
yeah,
stuff
state-based
like that.
actions will stick around through the spell, and then upon resolution, you will draw the cards and deal the damage, and then the creature will see that and then die.
Yep.
So,
I like to joke that I'm a level 0.5 judge.
Ooh,
because
love that.
I know a couple things like this, but I can't explain them very well.
we call that a TO in the biz. Anybody who's an L1 probably thought that was funny. Yeah, I think that the format is like definitely has some flaws. A lot of people are calling for some bans on a couple of things.
Yep.
However, I do think that we're still seeing interesting gameplay, which is exciting. I think that none of the cards are so oppressive that it's pushing everything out and preventing games from lasting very long or whatever. But unfortunately, there is some non-games that are being had, whether that be through like one ring loops or getting scammed on turn 1. Grief, getting double griefed is frustrating to say the least. But I think that because there's enough play with some of the other free spells, subtlety on grief, I stand by. That's an incredible play. My opponent, your opponent's gonna pitch a card to cast a grief, and you just go, hey, you can put that one back on top. And
Yeah.
it's feels good.
I had to learn that one the hard way.
Mm,
Actually,
okay.
against Aaron, we had a box tournament at a different store about a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was my final opponent. I sided in subtlety.
By final, do you
usually
mean in the finals, or do you
no,
mean right
I mean
before
like,
you left?
like right before I left.
Okay.
So
Love
I
it.
think game 2, I had subtlety blue card in my opening hand. I don't know, turn 1 played Ragavan or something. Aaron turn 1 Furied, and I was like, this is fine. It's just going to remove my Ragavan. No, it came back and killed me in 3 turns because I couldn't get Unholy Heat online. It's the kind of play that
yeah, that'll do it.
you do it once and then you never forget.
Oh yeah. Fortunately, you don't have a bolt in hand.
Well, no, unless they bring it back with the scam effect, because the scam effects that are currently used either put
You're
a
right.
+1/+1
You're
counter
right.
on.
That hits for 8, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Ow.
yeah.
Okay, I was wrong. Yeah, that's.
It's really
Oof.
nasty in
Oof.
round 1.
Mhm.
It was Amulet versus Scam.
Mhm.
I was about to say Amulet versus Titan. So game 2, the Scam player was able to get
Shuffling
down
them for game 1 here, or game 2 here.
Yep. They were able to get down turn 1 Fury, followed by turn 2 Fury.
Ow.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Magic's fun.
Yeah, it's a
That is a what? 5-card combo?
6.
6-card combo.
Because you need 2 Fury,
Yes,
2 red cards,
exactly.
2 Scam,
Yeah. And then lands.
and land.
1 land. 7-card
7.
combo. Yeah, easy. Yeah, that opening hand. Got it. Nailed it.
Yeah. All right, so here we are with game number 2.
That's a lot of red cards.
Steven's going to take the play with just a Scalding Tarn, likely going to get a Triome here.
that a
Aaron is
Marshflats?
also going to follow with, I don't
Marsh flats,
know.
maybe? I think marsh flats. All the
some
expeditions. It's
very nice art. The expeditions do look very nice. Gonna find the Jet Mirror Garden here.
I think that we were kind of talking about kind of the format being in the place that it is. I think there's still a lot of play, and the fact that we actually had somebody in chat ask about tribal decks, and we were discussing in between that I think the only tribal deck that is truly a tribal deck right now is Merfolk.
Yep.
And the fact that that's seeing play and has recently got some more toys and at least is putting up meddling results, I think is pretty exciting. And for a tribal deck to actually have some staying power since humans back in 2021 or 2019.
Oh no, humans was older than that. I think humans was like 2018
perhaps. Yeah, that was a Death Shadow. It was
it
was E-Tron and Shadow, and then got absolutely eaten
Gift Storm
by
was
humans.
around.
And humans just came and wiped the floor with everybody.
All right, so here we're seeing Dothy Voidwalker from
That card has too much words on it.
Scam. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna eat a bolt here. The
Certainly
bolt
will.
will be exiled with a void counter.
Yep.
We're
We're gonna crack a fetch to go get said. No, the red source will be
Xander.
from the untapped land. We're
Yep.
gonna get the
Yep.
Grixis land here too. These 5-color mana bases,
absurdly good.
notably all foil. as
I
far as
mean,
can tell.
we're both yeah, expensive too. We're both Blood Moon players. Honestly, I feel like this is the worst Blood Moon has ever felt.
I absolutely agree. Strong agree. I think that it is impressive the amount of non-basic lands that we see right now. Holy moly! All right, so we're gonna cast a Dothy Voidwalker,
Right.
and then
Grief, pitching grief.
yeah, absolutely.
With 1 mana open, we're likely to see a scam effect here. Steven's got 3 mana open potentially.
Does this deck play any counterspells? Probably like Misty.
I want to say, I was going to say, I think main board, it has historically had Spell Pierce, which won't hit the grief. Post board, there could be Mystical Dispute, although that would be potentially a questionable card to board in here. Might be Stern Scolding.
Stern Scolding, House. I think that card is very solid.
All right, looks like
Ooh,
Veil of Summer is the
good.
response here.
Card advantage.
Yes, Veil of Summer does everything. If Dothy Voidwalker has too many words, Veil of Summer has way too many words.
I respectfully disagree.
Really?
Yeah. I think that Dothy Voidwalker invalidates strategies, and I think Veil of Summer makes some strategies a little better, notably like Storm or. I think that in more powerful formats like Legacy or something like that, then you start to see, tendrils just out of nowhere. Just hey, I'm just gonna hard cast a Veil of Summer, and then you just die. But I think in this format, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Yes. Also seems like it has prevented a scam effect from coming down on that grief.
Absolutely, that's exciting.
All right, so yet again, land go from creativity.
My favorite play in Magic. Respectfully.
I mean, I think creativity does have good inevitability here.
I agree. I think that
Also, I think I'm mistaken. I don't think this is land go.
land crack, perhaps. But yeah, I think that, which is the case with a lot of combo strategies that have interaction. I'm gonna keep tying this deck back to Rhinos because it's gonna be these decks are gonna behave very similarly, and I think that Rhinos. Unless I'm mistaken, it probably has a little more staying power in the format. But when you have an interactive combo deck like this, it's inevitable, really. And I think that while such a powerful mid-range deck like Scam is obviously a mainstay in the format, I think something that's pretty crucial is that Scam does not, for the most part, care about card advantage. And if we're going to be... Now, here's going to
This
be
is
a
a
card
good
advantage
one.
piece.
Yeah, we see Fable coming down. Also, likely a card in Steam's deck.
Yeah. And so, quite relevant is that being able to just kind of turn off all out of the blue, hopefully that's what we are seeing now, while Aaron does not have any available mana to answer the token. I think we should see an Arcan here.
Yep. Fable has seen an uptick in play recently. The Scam deck used to play Seasoned Pyromancer because it was a creature
Yeah.
that would draw 2 cards, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Seasoned Pyromancer has fallen off now thanks to our old friend Orcish Bowmaster.
Absolutely.
So because the draw is mandatory, if it is responded to with Orcish Bowmaster, it's just dead.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
Luckily, you get 1/1s out of it, but unfortunately,
but
that-
your
that
opponent
costs
gets
5 more
your
mana,
opponent
yeah.
gets a 2/2.
Unfortunate.
Or I guess a 3/3 if they're casting the Bowmaster that turn.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Bowmaster has warped the format in more ways than I'd like, and I think one of the most notable examples of that is that it is punishing tribal decks in the same vein as Fury is.
is it really punishing tribal decks?
I would just say creature based aggro decks in
Sure.
general. I think we haven't seen humans in a really long time, and there's probably underlying issues with that deck, but ultimately I think that we are missing a creature based aggro deck, I think, in the format right now. We still have Hammer is kind of hanging on, but again, that does kind of rely on other things. ETBs just aren't very popular right now.
Yep. So interestingly, we did not see creativity from Steven last turn.
Unfortunate.
Um,
We may be saving up for a big creativity.
could also be that he's got a very reactive hand.
Unfortunate
and
in this.
might
in this
not
spot.
have the creativity.
The Fable's going to flip into is it Reflection of the Mirror
Reflection
Breaker?
of yeah. It is the
Reflection of
Mirror
the
Breaker,
Mirror,
not
yeah.
Kiki-Jiki.
And that notably does not have haste, so it does not have the activated or cannot activate the ability yet. And that is I believe it's 1 and a tap. Target creature you control, you may create a copy of it that has haste.
Mm-hmm. It does have to be non-legendary, which is not going to be a problem for Scam, unless you wanted to clone Ragavan.
We're gonna get a third dwarf.
Token. Also, we did not call this out, but the planes has hit the battlefield. So this is going to be a hard cast Archon.
Oh Lord! Wow, that is. I'm impressed.
Yep, so that's
all
going
right.
to enter the battlefield, and that has a ton of text on it. I think Aaron is going to have to sacrifice a creature, discard a card, and lose 3 life, whereas Steven is going to draw a card and I think gain 3. This also this happens on ETB and on attack.
There we go.
Um,
Yeah, target enters about ATB or attack.
or sack a Planeswalker as well.
Yeah, creature or planeswalker.
It's a very strong card.
And like I was going to mention before, it has been the reanimation target of choice.
Yep.
I haven't seen an Emrakul in a while.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a long time. I think that thoroughly impressive that I have not seen Emrakul in so long.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so Aaron is going to respond with Fury, Pitch Fury, Reanimate Fury. That's going to deal 8 damage to, or I think
It's
6
deal-
damage to Archon
and then
total
2 to
and
the
2 to the tokens.
Yep.
I think Steven has 1 Dwarven Mine left in the deck.
Yeah.
At most. Looks like he's. Yep.
Did he chump?
No, I think he just.
Not sure.
Oh yeah, no, I think he did.
Nice flourish on your untap.
Now on the next turn,
I think
Fury can be copied by.
yes, that's going to be. Really
It looks
bad.
like that is also what we saw last turn.
That may have been what happened.
Yeah.
Celestial Purge. Haven't seen that card in a long time.
Excellent sideboard.
2
card.
mana instant, exile target red or black permanent. Love that card. I have to.
This
go
is
ahead.
true. Emrakul does die
There it
to
is.
both Solitude and Leyline Binding. I think it's
that a
also
creativity?
if you're no, this is going to be Bitter Reunion.
I'm unfamiliar.
So this is a 2 mana enchantment, 1 in a red. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card, and if you do, you draw 2 cards. Looks like Steven has found a Persist off of the Bitter Reunion,
Ooh,
and
good.
is bringing back that Archon.
Wow, we may.
Um,
I don't want to talk too soon, but we see a game 3.
Yep. So Aaron is down to 13. Steven's at 11. With an Archon on the field. It's going to sack Bitter Reunion, so pay 1, sacrifice a creature's gain haste until end of turn.
Gonna
I'll
call
be
it
met
a
with a Terminate.
If I may, I have to call out the drip. Steven is repping a beautiful American trad Bucky's t-shirt. I'm a big fan.
Ragavan's going to get hit with a bolt. Yeah, very reactive hand here for Steven.
Yeah, looks like surprisingly actually sort of withstanding kind of the tide of Scam. And this is kind of what I was mentioning earlier, is that while Scam is a very, very powerful mid-range deck that has the capability to like 2 for 2 very often, they do not have an easy way to regain card advantage. And a lot of the decks that have a lot of these reactive combo decks, such as Creativity and Rhinos and things like that, they have the capability to develop card advantage so they can refine their combos late game. And I think that's something very relevant here, is like that is what we're seeing. As far as I know, Aaron only has 1 card in hand, and and Steven's going to have a little more of a grip.
Yes. Steven's last card is Creativity, by the way.
And looks like another removal spell on the, looks like Ragavan, or is that the token?
It was the Bowmaster.
Bowmaster. Gotcha. Perfect. All right, 3 cards in hand.
So that's 2 Creativities. I can't tell what that last card is. Possibly another removal spell. Possibly a third. Looks like it might be 3rd Creativity.
Unfortunate. That would be what a way to go.
I think this might be.
Goodness, is that 3rd Bowmaster?
Another Bowmaster.
Looking at the grip.
I think this makes the Bitter Reunion that was just drawn very poor. So that's going to.
It's going to increase his clock. Looks like turn his clock from a 4-turn to a 3-turn clock.
Oh, it's Veil of
Summer. That is a Veil of Summer. That's good.
Right.
Draw the card. It will still increase. No, he can't target. So he cannot target him, but he can target another player, as far as I know.
I think the target was declared.
Oh, so it countered the
Bowmaster ability.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then it should.
Aaron swings in for 2.
Let me look.
Really clawing back into this game. Behind on mana. At this point, I think behind on cards as well. All right, so we're going to see fetch for that 4th Dwarven Mine from Steven here. And is likely going to fire off one of these Creativities that are just burning a hole in his hand at the moment.
Now, as a L.5 judge, like we talked about earlier.
What is that? That's a push?
Token
gets pushed?
I believe that the token may have another counter on it. Because it was chosen him as a target. Target was fizzled. However, it is a separate clause. It says.
Okay.
It says then amass 1 orcs. So that may be relevant. No, again, I could be wrong.
Is that Kroxa?
That is a Kroxa.
That is a Kroxa. All right. Kroxa has hit the field, sniping another Creativity.
I don't know what that card is.
Steven's going to play a Shadow Prophecy. So this is a 2 and a black. It has Domain. I think it's look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of basic types you have. You choose 2 of them, and then put those 2 in your hand and the rest in the graveyard. And I think you lose 2 life as well.
Let's find out.
So kind of draw.
Nailed it.
But
this is.
I came into this really comment on much, but at least I know the cards.
Yeah, I'll talk archetypes. You talk cards.
Yeah.
I think we've got most things covered.
Yeah, that is going to put Steven to 2 dead on board. Archon is going to hit the field.
Notably,
back in the game.
Yuck. Notably, one of the chatters said Emrakul ? In a Solitude Binding World. Yeah, that's awful. I didn't even realize. That's terrible.
It also doesn't get reanimated by Persist, because Persist is non-legendary.
Non-legendary, yeah. Yeah, that sounds awful. You're very right.
I think the current Reanimator deck in the format, although the current Reanimator deck is not based on Persist. It's a Goryo's Vengeance deck that brings back Atraxa.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Which then finds... No.
Okay. I support it. We love good decks.
I want to say it was a flash in the pan deck about, I guess it was around June. It started gaining some traction. The goal was essentially Goryo's Vengeance for Atraxa, who then finds Ephemerate
to flicker Atraxa
again. Yeah, and then you keep it.
That card is another card that has too many words on it.
Yep.
You know what? I have a bone to pick with cards that have too many words on them.
We need to go back to simpler days.
Yep. See, like the card in Steven's hand, no words. Well, 2 words: lightning and bolt.
Yep.
Yeah, love that. NPR bolts.
All right, so
No
Kroxa was
words.
brought back from the graveyard. Steam is going to attack with the Archon, which triggers it. Aaron's going to respond by sacrificing. Then gets bolted
Looks
to
like a
death.
bolt. Yeah, that'll do it.
All right.
We will see a game 3.
We will say game 3. So yeah, we really saw the inevitability of creativity
Absolutely. Now, unfortunately for Steven, Aaron will be on the play here with Scam, which is, of course, exactly where they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I was intimately close with a Scam opponent about 30 minutes ago who mulled to 5 and on the play and put the nails in my coffin, let's say. It was not good.
Yeah, when we had Jacob and Brian in here for post-game commentary, I think both of them kind of pointed to Fury as being a huge target for the Scam deck, as being this like very difficult to deal with early in the game threat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, the Scam deck just has a level of consistency that's tough to find in decks without like card advantage engines, like expressive. Like obviously, like when you have decks like Murktide, let's say, with you have so many ways to filter through the deck with expressive iteration and Dragon's Rage Channeler. And then now preordain. There's lots and lots of ways to filter through things, and then Scam doesn't have that. It just has a lot of redundancy, which is obviously part of the reason it's around. And it being so splashy, obviously, is very very drawing to the competitive players to stick to something that has the ability to affect the board and the ability to kind of stretch and handle lots of targets. And when you target the hand, that's obviously the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, it's an excellent mid-range deck with a very powerful variance element to it.
Yeah, somewhat like it's difficult not to throw a to draw a through line to. Yeah, here you go. Here
so
we have
a turn one Thoughtseize here, a classic.
Looks like we have let's see, we have a Ren and 6 in there. There's a Leyline Binding in there.
Veil of Summer, Bitter Reunion, Celestial Purge.
Yeah, there we go.
Personally, I think I take the Ren and 6.
Depends.
Although there are no fetch lands in Steven's hand.
Yeah, I think that it's going to focus a lot on what Aaron's got in his hand. Obviously, I think that obviously removal is going to be really important.
So Bitter Reunion is what goes.
We do not want him to draw more cards.
Interesting.
Turns out.
The Ren 6 is also uncastable at the moment.
Sure is.
So taking that Bitter Reunion is going to make it difficult. Yeah. Not seeing an additional land from Steven. Bringing that Dwarven Mine into play tapped and also robbing the future of a Dwarf token.
Mm-hmm. Another Bowmaster.
Yep. See, end of turn Bowmaster.
And a bolt.
Swiftly met with a bolt. We'll go back to Aaron.
Now, how do you feel about the development of the board state in Steven's deck? I think that one of the biggest, obviously, like there's the card advantage side playing against Scam, but one of the biggest points as well is that they do establish some pretty big threats, and we're not obviously seeing any creatures out of Steven's deck except for the large targets. Mm-hmm. It's really just a matter of battlefield presence, and I don't know if Ren and 6 really contributes to that.
Yeah.
Well, it does absolutely handle Bowmasters and Ragavans and things like that. But
yes.
I feel like it's just a little bit slow.
Well, I think its main role here is to keep the redundancy of the fetch lands for Dwarven Mine, because it's at some point Aaron will run out of removal, and to be able to keep scaling into the later game against these grindier decks is pretty important. We saw last game, Aaron was stuck on 3 lands for the majority of the game, whereas Steven was able to keep making land drops.
Into second Fable.
And eventually, yep. So that's the game.
That's it. Wow.
That bitter reunion take was absolutely crucial.
Yeah,
there.
it looks like that early play obviously shows the knowledge of Aaron and his deck and